everyone, my name is Emily Johnston, and I will be presenting you with 3 different libraries that I can in here in Taiwan from my library tourist project. So this is the small island of Taiwan. It's just off the coast of China, and as you can see, it's a pretty small island. And I live in the city of Taichung. That's the number 3 that you see down near the middle of Taichung. And the capital is Taipei. That's number 2 that you see up there. And Taichung is where all 3 of my libraries came from. The libraries that I did were 2 public Chinese libraries, and then 1 international American library. That's actually a school. The first library that I did is from Morrison Academy, and that's the library where I volunteer every Tuesdays and Fridays. Morrison Academy Library is called the Morrison Academy Whole Senior Library, and they are known as the Morrison Mustangs. And that's the mascot right there that they have. The people that I work with are Gabby Landbach from the left. She is the secondary library media specialist, and she is also the overall head of the librarians at the school. The second person that I work with a lot, and he is in the middle, his name is Scott Pagel, and he is the elementary and middle school library media specialist. The third person that I mostly work with, her name is Leanna Paleo, and she is one of the library assistants that work there during the weeks. Okay, so here is an example of the layout at Morrison Academy Whole Senior Library, and as you can see, it's a very comfortable layout. It's in the middle school, high school area. The school has all 3 sections of an American school. They have elementary, middle school, and high school, all part of one school. And if you walk in through the door, the middle school area is just behind the circulation desk, which is at the front. The high school is on the left and near the back, as well as near the back of the library. And the elementary is, if you go in, it's on the right. Both nonfiction and fiction are on the right. What I like about this school is that it's easy to access. And as you can see from the picture, it's all the books are labeled with various stickers. And it feels like home to me back in the United States. What I also like is that the library itself is all in one room. It's on the 2nd floor of the school. So you don't have to walk very far at all to get there. Another thing that is very nice about this library is that it is literally just a 5-minute walk down the road. It's not too far to walk to. Cataloging. So when I was interviewing Gabby Lautenbach about the type of system that they used, she told me that they used the Dewey Decimal Classification System. And the reason is they are an American school. So they abide by the American system. And their primary purpose is to serve missionary kids that are there in Taiwan, to give them a little taste, just a little taste of home and what the America is like. For their elementary and middle school students, they organize it by genre for fiction, but they also use the Dewey Decimal for the nonfiction. The kids programs they have are library classes with reading programs. They have the Kyushu program that evaluate and it's a recommendation program. They also have a birthday book club. Now in this kind of club, they usually have the parents go to the library and they buy a book for the library. And the student whose parents do it for their birthday, and then the students can have the first choice of checking that book out. And they get their name and their picture put on the front page of that book. They also have book fairs and they have author visits. Okay, the second library that I went to was called the Taichung Public Library. I went to this library with a friend of mine, Auntie Pedro, and she introduced me to this library. It's a 15-minute bike ride down the road. If you're on a dirt bike and if you're going really fast, you can also get there in just under 10 minutes. As you can see, this is a tall building and it's got multiple floors, mainly because here in Taiwan, most of our cities are, cities, and you don't really have very many urban, rural areas. All of them have tall buildings, so that's why a lot of the libraries here in Taiwan have multiple floors. What I like about this library is that it's nice and snug. You can find books if you know where to look. But they also have signs in both English and Chinese to point you in different directions. I also like that it's a library that's close to home. I actually didn't realize there was a library that was really close to my house until my dad told me about it. Karaoke night found out after visiting my third library is a program that was based on the Dewey Decimal System called the New Classification Scheme for the Chinese libraries. And basically how they do it is that they organize their Chinese books by category. And if they need to divide it further, they would do it by subcategories. But they don't organize it by the author's name. They would separate the teenage section from, for example, the youth books. But again, they wouldn't really organize it by the author's name. Every book that they have in Chinese would have a number, but it may not be the same number in another library. So that is what the new classification scheme for the Chinese libraries do. And I think I said this before, but later on I learned that it was also based on the Dewey Decimal System. Now for their English books, they use the Dewey Decimal System like the American libraries back in the United States do, which I found out was really cool because that means the Dewey Decimal System is not only universal, it's also global. They use self-checkout stations for circulation in case they have been understaffed and people need to check out their books. And they also have a program called Spiders for circulation. These are just pictures of what the library looks like. And these two particular pictures were taken from the website because I thought that it looked better than some of mine that I have taken and that I did use in the PowerPoint. But you can just see just how big and how spacious it is. You can also see the different floors that they have. Here is another picture that was borrowed from the website. It just shows another example of a room that's in this building. And as you can see, it's also very spacious and colorful and meant for young children use. Now here are some pictures that I took that I thought were cool and wanted to show everyone to see what the Chinese libraries look like. Here is a floor on the left that is meant for students to come in and use the internet. It is sometimes called an internet cafe. On the right is an example of a self-checkout kiosk. And what you do is that you swipe your card on the scanner and then you swipe the book, the bar book, and then it checks the book out for you, so you don't have to go up to a librarian and have them check out. Here are just a couple more pictures of what the library looks like inside. On the left is a picture that I took of the shelves and what they look like in the room. On the right is another picture from the website, and it's just showing another angle of one of the floors of the library. This is the main floor. For my third library, I went with my grandparents to a library that is about 22-minute drive downtown. And it's called the National Library of Public Information. This picture here is an aerial view of the library itself. I thought it was a really good picture of what the library looks like and just how big it is. It's got 5 floors and it's fairly new. It's also 5 years old. And it's the first digital library that was commissioned by the government. What I like about this library is that it's very modern looking, it's fun to be in, and it's easy to access to. One of the great things about this library is that foreigners from different countries can get a library card with their passport, and then they can just come and check it out for a year. And if they need to, they can come back another year and renew that card. Cataloging, again, it's the same method that the Taichung Public Library does. They use the new classification scheme for Chinese libraries. Again, that system is based on the Dewey Decimal System, and they use the Dewey Decimal System for the English books that they have. They also use the Spiders Library Automation System for circulation. Layout, here's just pictures that I took to show what the library looked like inside. Like I said before, I went with my grandparents, so we actually got a little bit of a tour by the people that I was interviewing with, and they showed us around and showed us what the library is meant for, what its function was, and how the seniors really liked using it, as well as students and parents. This is a multifunctional classroom that you can see on the left, and it is in both English and Chinese, which is nice to see. This is a picture on the right of my grandmother. She is showing me where she lives in California. She lives in Kings. And this is just an example on the left of the different digital material that they have. One of the cool features of their library is that if you check out a book, you can, no, not a book, sorry, you can check out a movie, and then you can sit at a place and watch it while you're there at the library, which I thought was really fun. They also had a room completely devoted to listening to LP CD, LP record music. And then this picture on the left here is just showing you a room full of CDs that you can check out above. On the right is an example of a circulation kiosk. And these are just pictures that I took while we were on. Here's another example of a technology lab where people can surf the web. Here, they also have a place called the Internet Cafe where people can just use the internet without being monitored by the library staff. They also have an informational desk right in front of the main floor. And then here's an example of another self-checkout kiosk. On the right is a picture of a newspaper that you can read, and they also have stations where you can read newspapers or just take a nap if you want to. What I found that was the most interesting thing of the library was the section that was devoted to newly arrived immigrants. But these immigrants weren't just any immigrants, they were the wives of Taiwanese men from completely different countries. And this shows how these women who came from different countries learned how to adapt and how they kept some of their cultural background and how they integrated into new life in Taiwan. So that was my presentation for you guys. I hope you learned a little bit more of Taiwan, and I hope you enjoyed the libraries. I certainly did, and if you ever came to Taiwan, I would gladly show you around. So, thank you.